Welcome back to our last Mars mission session, and we are going to be looking at doing a spreadsheet. Now, spreadsheets are good for looking at data and manipulating data in a way that makes life easier for us, and we're going to use it to summarize what we're going to take to Mars. So for this, I'm going to use Google Sheets, but all this will work the same in Excel spreadsheets. So I'm in my Google, I've signed in, and then I've got my overflow button up here. I'm going to scroll down to Google Sheets, and I'm going to create a blank Google Sheet here. Alright, now what I can do up the top here is I can name my particular sheet. So I'm going to call this one Mars Mission Cargo List. Alright, now we've made our file and it's saved under this name. We'll be able to find it again quite easily. Now we need to create some categories for what we're going to do today. So first of all, let's start with an item. So which item we might want to take. Now we might have a quantity of an item. There might be a little item like paintbrushes or pens or something that you want to bring that's special to you. And there might be more than one of those things, so we can put a quantity in there. Of course, what we're doing today is we're looking at weight, so let's put weight in there as a item, and last of all we need to sum it, so we're going to put a total value on that. Alright, now before I get stuck in, I'm also going to grab this little line here and just drag it one under. This is done a little bit differently in Excel. This is a sheets only thing, so don't worry about that for now. We'll just leave it in there. It's just good habit to get into. That'll help us with some drop down menus and other things later. Alright, so I got to come up with some stuff I want to take to Mars. Now, I am a musician, so things that I want to take to Mars include musical instruments. So let's put guitar down as, let's say guitar, I'll make it an acoustic guitar. And I want to bring one of those, and they are roughly about 3 kilos, but let's go let's go 4 kilos because there's going to need to be a case when we transport that. Alright, now to make this work, we need to use an equation. So what we're going to do, we're going to use the equal sign, and you see how it's gone and it's ready for some other information. What I can do now that I've put the equal sign is I can click somewhere else and it's going to input that data. Now I want to multiply this number by the second number here. So I'm going to hold down my shift button and I'm pushing the 8 key where it has the star above the 8 and it creates this star. That's also a symbol for multiplication or times when we are looking at this. So now what I can do is I can click on the next box. So what I've got equals B2, the place I want to multiply, times the second place that I want to multiply. And once I've done all that, I'm just going to hit the enter button. And what it's going to do, it's going to add it up. So say I come along and I've changed my mind. I want to bring 3 acoustic guitars. What it's going to do, it's now going to sum up that total. So I can change this number and work with what I've got here. Now, let's put in some more data just quickly. So I also want an electric guitar. And I don't know if I can live with just one electric guitar, so I might have to have 2. And their average weight is about 4 kilos as well. Just for the time being, we'll put that in. And we need to have a microphone. We'll have one of those, and that will be approximately 0.5, so we'll call it half. We need to have some leads. So there's going to be a guitar lead, microphone lead, so we need at least 2, but let's have a backup, so we'll go 3. And that will also be 0.5 in this circumstance. Now, you could go through and do the same equation for all of these, but there's an easier way of dragging this down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the first box here. Now see at the bottom, we've got this little blue dot. If I drag this blue dot down, and I'm just going to drag it down 20 lines for now, just so we can see a lot of them. it's going to automatically generate the same code. Now you see here, it's putting that equation in. So I'll just scroll up and down. It's going from B2 to B3 to B4, on so on, and respectively for C as well. So it's generated all those, and it's even put in 0 because these have not been filled in yet. All right. Now once we get to the bottom here, what we're going to do, we're going to put in a grand total. So I'm going to call this the sum total. And this box here, I want to add up all of these and put them into here. So you guessed it, we're going to use the equal sign again. I'm going to type in sum. This time I'm going to need to use some parentheses or brackets as you would know them. So I'm going to open my bracket because I need to give it a range. Now when I've done this, see how it's asking a question mark? It wants to know where I'm going. So I'm going to click here, but I'm not going to let go of the click. I'm going to drag that click so I'm getting the full range of all of those in one go. Then I'm letting go, and then I'm going to close my brackets, and I'm ready to go. Now before I hit enter, I just want to talk you through how this works in case you want to type it in manually, because you can do that as well. So here we have equals sum, opening our brackets, we're naming the first cell we want to use, so in this case it's D2, so we're on 2 here and we're on D, and then I'm using the semicolon to get me all the way down to the bottom where I'm typing in D20, the final range. So this is going to add up everything in here. Now if you have data from 3 fields, you could actually grab that data across multiple tabs and it will summarize all of that in one here. But we're just doing one column for now. Alright, let's hit enter. And so far I've got 14 kilos that I can take to Mars. Now, my limit is going to be 30 kilos. So my limit, let's type that in, is 30 kilos. So let's put in another little thing so we understand how much more weight that we have to go. Let's just write to go for now, all right? To go. So in this one, I can say equals this number minus this number here, and it says now I have 16 kilos to go, which is good. All right, so let's try and exceed that. So let's bring some more musical equipment. So I need a guitar amp for that. Guitar amp for that. That's really heavy. So I've got one of those, and that might be 15 kilos. So let's do that. So now I've got 1 kilo to go. Now, let's see what happens when I go over to this particular amount down here, the to-go limit. All right, so I'm going to add another acoustic guitar. So let's put 2 acoustic guitars on. And now we're going into -3. So we know that we've gone over by 3. So sum total is 3, our limit is 30. Okay, so we've gone over by 3. So we need to reduce that back to 1. And now we can play with the quantity on things until we get close to this amount, or we can put in something that is close. Now for your exercise, you want to put on items that you can't live without. And you want to weigh those things. So these things could be things like musical instruments, items that are mementos that you could never live without, because we're going to Mars. You're not coming back. So you want to work out what you can bring that you can't live without and not bring anything else. Things that you will have on Mars are things like food. You'll have access to food. That'll get delivered regularly. And let's assume that you will have those little treats come in those foods as well. And you will not need to put that food in your cargo, because cargo is going to be for items, not food. Let's assume that your computers will be there, because you'll be working when you're on Mars, so you'll need computers. So computers will already be there, so you don't need to worry about computers. If you do want to play things like games, you might need to bring your console if you want to play the console and the games themselves, because you won't be able to get the games there because you can't download from Mars. It will be impossible because there'll be such a big latency. You might want to bring your favorite fluffy toy. You might want to bring your camera. There's so many things you might want to bring. Could be sporting equipment you could put on there as well. So what I want you to do is have a go at creating a sheet like this. Now, it can be in Excel, it can be in Google Sheets. Google Sheets is free with an account, so that's why I've chosen to use it for this exercise. Yeah, let's have a go. See what you come up with. It'll be interesting to see what's on people's list. So once you've done with your list, you can always save it. So let's walk through how you can do that. So up here we have a file. Now you can actually download this as an Excel document. So you could download it to an Excel, or you can make a PDF. For the sake of this exercise, we might use PDF because then we can upload and see what's on people's sheets. It could be interesting to see what people bring and why. So we can have a discussion about that afterwards. So I can just do that, and then I can see my sheet is here, and I just go and export it, and it comes down as a downloadable file where you can upload or share with people to see what they brought to Mars and what they didn't bring to Mars. Alright guys, signing off. See ya.